Welcome to Time to Win podcast. It's not just a podcast. It's the official personal growth locker room of life where champions just like you gather to cultivate their courage, create a life-changing game plan of success, and celebrate their wins. I'm RJ Jackson, your personal growth coach and host, and I'm committed to seeing you win. As a professional speaker and growth coach for over 3 decades, I've worked with and inspired thousands to grow their greatness and transform their setbacks into a comeback. And now it's your turn. It's time to win. So if you're ready, grab something to take notes with. We're about to dive in. Let's go fight win. Well, hello. Let me say hello to you first, and then we'll go ahead and say hello to March. Hello, beautiful. Hello, sunshine. Hello, lovely. Hello, my sister, and hello, March. Wow, we are already in the third quarter of this year, and I don't know about you, but it's been amazing so far for me. Now, don't get it twisted. That does not mean I have not had problems and things haven't gone wrong. I just have decided that problems don't have me, and I've decided that I can't do anything about what happens, but I sure can decide how I'm going to deal with it. So welcome to Time to Win podcast. Get ready for some amazing strategies and inspiration that causes transformation here in the locker room of life. You know me by now. I'm your girl, RJ Jackson, your personal growth coach and specialist, here to help you go from being weary to winning. Why settle for being overwhelmed, worn out, emotionally exhausted, running all over the place, and still going nowhere, all while yearning for life to get better when it can be better and you can do better. And we're here to help you do that today. Today is a very special episode as we talk about Women's History Month. Women's History Month is all this month, and it's celebrated on the 8th. And this month, we're going to take time to celebrate and learn about the amazing contributions of women throughout history. Women's History Month is about honoring women. It's about honoring women who have made a difference in the areas of science, art, politics, social justice, and just life in general. It's a time to recognize the many achievements of women in their important roles in shaping our world. So let's take time today and celebrate some of the remarkable women who have changed the course of history by sharing her story. We're going to kick off this month by honoring the first woman that most girls know in life. We call her mom. Now, I didn't know the first woman of the world, Eve, but I did know the most amazing woman ever, Rhoda. And I want to spend some time sharing with you my story of this amazing woman who I got to call mom, who shaped my story with her story. And in the words of Abraham Lincoln, he said it best in a letter that he wrote to a friend when he said, "All that I am or ever hope to be, I owe to my angel mother." He is definitely speaking for me. How about you, my friend? Now, if you're a mom, you already know. Or if you're a mom or watched your mom or a mom figure, you already know that being a mom is no easy task. And throughout history, women have faced all kinds of struggles and made sacrifices, mainly to raise their children and provide for their family. They did the best they could with what they had to leave a lasting impression on their children and on society as a whole. That saying's true for not only my mom, but for me too. Doing the best we can with what we have. Moms also deal with, on a day-to-day basis, a boatload of emotions and feelings while they go through the struggle. Perhaps you can relate to some of the feelings that change throughout the day as a mom. You start out with love. Like the most profound emotion that a mother can feel is love. Love for her children. And this love is unconditional. And it's what drives a mother to do everything in her power to protect and care for her children. Love. And then they leave home and go to school or go to work or get married. And then we as mothers go through that that feeling of worry. You know, they say they're on your lap the first 18 years, but then after that, they're always on your heart. And as mothers, we have a tendency to worry often about our children, about their safety, their health, their well-being. And we worry about things like whether they're eating enough, getting enough sleep, making friends at school, being liked on their job, will get pulled over by the police, will be targeted by a gang. We worry about our children. Another profound emotion that mothers deal with on a day-to-day basis as a woman, as a mother, shapes history with her story. And then I know often as women and mothers, we claim we don't go on trips that often. I beg to differ. I believe as women, especially as mothers, we go on a trip daily, maybe sometimes twice a day. It's called a guilt trip. We deal with this feeling of feeling guilty. Now, in spite of and despite our best efforts, we sometimes feel guilty about not doing enough for our children, not providing them with the things that we felt they should have had or they wanted, or not being there with them because we had to work, leaving them with childcare. We feel guilty for having to wake them up in the morning. Oh my gosh, how in the world can we say we don't go on trips when we trip all the time about our worth as a mother? But then on the other hand, there's that pride that mothers have. That pride when their child accomplishes something great and achieves a milestone. That feeling that a mom has that nobody else can experience or knows anything about. That feeling of, yeah, that's my pride and joy. That's my baby boy. That's my girl. Yes, it's unmatched by any other feeling that anyone else could ever have for their child. But let's not leave out when we're exhausted, emotionally, mentally, physically, financially exhausted by doing our best to provide for our children. Motherhood is exhausting. Physically, emotionally, it's exhausting. We often make sacrifices to make sure our children have what they need emotionally. And at the end of the night, as our tears quietly flood our pillowcase, can you relate to the roller coaster ride of emotions that we as mothers go through, not in a month, but in a day? How many of those that I've shared have you already gone through today yourself? It's early, but I promise you, I've been through at least 3 of them myself. I can look back at my mother's path of legacy, and now I can understand, as a mother myself, her path, the journey that she took to provide for her children. I've always been grateful, and you will always hear me say I've had the best parents in the world. And although I'm a daddy's girl, I know it was my mother's hand and heart that really shaped me to be the woman that I am. And just like she did her best to provide for us, that's my goal. Just like I'm sure it's your goal as well, to do the best, to be the best mom for your children, to provide for them. Let me tell you about the example that I had that inspired me to be the best mom that I know how to be. I've already told you I didn't know Eve, but I did know Rhoda. And no, not the Rhoda from the Bible, but Rhoda, my mom. My mom was the eldest of 5 children, and she was a woman who I would say understood caring for her children. She was an entrepreneur at heart. She was the wife of one husband for 50 years. She understood financial freedom and money management. She definitely understood self-care, because every day after she finished working and providing and serving other people, she made it a point to go spend some time doing what she loved. And that was bingo. I tell people I was born with a bingo dopper in one hand and a bowling pin from my daddy in the other. My parents knew how to do self-care. Not only did my mom work and retire from Nabisco, she owned her own retail store. She was a real estate agent and invested in real estate, allowing each of my siblings and I to have a home at the age of 18, clear and free. She worked at the movie theater in the evening, allowing my friends and I to not only enjoy the movie for free, but popcorn and all we could drink while enjoying the movie for absolutely free. Now, how she did it all, honestly, I don't know. But I know she did it all, and she did it all for her family. Another important job that my mom held was, according to the pastor of the church, the official decorator of Faith Baptist. At her funeral, he even said that she was probably in heaven hanging up some curtains and changing out the carpet because that's what she did. And if she was watching the news and your house caught on fire and she could get to you, she not only got to you, she helped provide you with furniture for the home that they were going to give you, clothes, whatever she could help you do. My mom literally would take the shirt off her back and give it away. She was definitely a servant leader. At her funeral, we were literally an hour late starting the burial process of the funeral because 100-plus car procession took over an hour to arrive at the burial site that was only 10 minutes away from the church. In a newspaper article covering the funeral, they stated they had never seen anything like it. Now, although my mom was no celebrity, she wasn't a politician or a TV star, she left her mark on the community and in my heart. She understood legacy and creating history by making sure her story was intentional and rich. She was not only my mom, she was my siblings' mom, but she was a mom to the community. She fostered children and became moms to children who didn't have a mom or didn't have a mom that knew how to nurture and love them the way they deserved. On her casket, the inscription read, "May the works I've done speak for me." And let me tell you, they spoke loud and clear. That's the model of history that I'm doing my best to make my story because of her story. And this month, as we celebrate Women's History Month, I wanted to start with moms because I really do believe we shape the world. Before we become famous, before we become well-known, before we go to work, we nurture our children and our families. We shape the next generation as mothers. And too often, in my opinion, I believe we only highlight women in history who we read about already. But there are so many amazing women who are shaping history. And let me pause for the cause and say, girl, if you're listening to this, you are one of those women. You have made a difference somewhere in the world. And it doesn't mean that you have to have touched thousands of lives. When you touch the one life that God has positioned in front of you to touch, when you can hear the angels rejoicing and saying, "Well done," you have made history with her story, your story. So I want to take a moment to celebrate and honor you. Each of you, whether you're a mom at heart, a mom figure, a godmommy, whatever role or title you've been given, you are more than that. You are a woman that matters. Put here on this earth to shape it and mold it intentionally, to provide hope and possibility to people who are dying to live. And I see you out there doing your best, doing your thing. So as we celebrate Women's History Month, let's acknowledge the countless ways that we, not only as moms, but as women, contribute to history, making history her story. Here are a couple of examples. We shape the next generation As mothers and women, we have an incredible responsibility to shape the next generation of leaders, innovators, and thinkers. And the values and the lessons and the love that we impart in our children and to our community will definitely shape the future of our society. We're also called to be advocates. We advocate for change. And throughout history, mothers in particularly have been at the forefront of social and political movements. I mean, the 16th president of the United States himself said, "Everything that I am or ever hope to be, I owe it to my angel mother." As women, especially mothers, we are also responsible for innovating in our homes and the workplace. Now, this is where everything hits the fan, because this is where we have to learn how to what they call work-life balance. And this is where, rightfully so, most women struggle. They feel stuck in a rut. They're emotionally exhausted. They feel afraid that they're not good enough. They feel like it's only them. You know what I'm talking about? This is where we as women actually shine, because this is where we are able to give our best. Like, you think about it. Like, you think about when your husband or your mate get sick. Like, what can they do? Be sick, right? Now, I'm not bashing. I'm just saying, in general, that's what they do. That's the task at hand. But for a woman, we're sick, we're cooking, we're cleaning, we're taking the kids to school, we're working, we're doing whatever has to be done. We are gifted in that area to be that innovator, to create that change, and to make it happen. To all the moms out there, thank you. Thank you for everything you do, for your hard work, your dedication, the love that you give, not only to your children, but to what you do, the passion you have for being who you are and serving other people. Thank you. This month, we honor you, we admire you, and we celebrate you. And thinking of celebrating, I've asked women around the world to join us today and share reflections on mother or mother figure in their life. And we've asked 2 questions. We've asked them, how did their mom make history her story, and how did it impact them and who they are today? We've also asked them to tell us a moment or time of a struggle that their mom went through that really impacted their life to help shape and mold them to who they are, because she didn't quit. She didn't give in. She didn't throw in the towel, but she kept going. She kept caring for her children and nurturing her family. So let's hear what women around the world had to share today about their mother making history her story.
Hi, my name is Sharon Ward Coleman, and my mother, after raising 12 children, took in my 2 nieces and raised them for my brother and sacrificed a little bit more of her life and her vision and her goals to give them the life, if not even better, than she gave her own 12.
Wow, Sharon, that's amazing. 12 children. I can only imagine the sacrifice your mom made. It's truly admirable and a testimonial to her strength and love for her family. I caught up with the real Bernice Taylor from Bernice Taylor Fitness, and here's what she had to say about her mom and how she made her story instead of his story.
My mother was a spirit-filled woman who knew no strangers. And she impacted a lot of lives because she, quote unquote, adopted people that weren't in her family and just gave freely. She was very altruistic. So she gave freely. And that has been passed on. So that's how I remember my mother. And that's how my mother is part of her story.
Hi, this is radio personality and entrepreneur Brandy Lene, and my mom has been the most unwavering example of love, strength, grace, sophistication. Throughout my life, I have watched her go to battle for her family, put us first, standing on her faith and her beliefs in God, and she has been just an incredible example. Her story is the reason for my story today.
All right. Thank you, ladies, so much for sharing. And listen, we know you have a story too. We know that you've watched your mom struggle, but stay the course. We know that she's had a profound impact on you, and you are doing the same to have an impact on your children, your family, and your community. So thank you for being a valuable part of her story. Some of our other listeners left a message for me to share their story, and here's what one woman had to say. She said, "My mom migrated to the United States in her early 20s and give us a better future. She left her family and friends and everything she knew behind to start a new life. She had to learn a new language, find a new job, and adapt to a new culture, all while taking care of 2 young children." Another woman left a message to say, "My mom raised 4 children as a single parent. She worked 2 jobs to provide for us so that we can be sure to have everything we needed. She sacrificed her own dreams and ambitions to ensure that we had a good education and a brighter future." Wow. Those are incredible, inspiring stories. It's evidence that moms will do whatever it takes to give their children. And here's a comment left on our website, theTimeToWinPodcast.com, answering the question, how do you feel your mom made history in your life? And one guest said, "My mom taught me the value of hard work, determination, and perseverance. Her sacrifices and struggles motivated me to work hard and never give up, even in the face of adversity. She showed me that anything is possible if you put your mind to it." A special thank you and shout out to everyone who shared legacy stories of their mom as we celebrate Women's History Month. I'd like to close out with a tribute to mothers in honor of Women's History Month. And this is to those of you who are mothers, who are mother figures, who are godmommies, who have sacrificed in some form or fashion to help someone do better and be better. Mothers, the unsung heroes of our lives. Their love and their sacrifice never dies. They work tirelessly day and night to make sure that everything is just right. Through trials and challenges they endure, their strength and courage always secure. With a heart full of love and care, they guide us through life's many snares. Their hugs are warm, their words are kind, in their embrace we always find a safe haven from life's storm, a place where we can be reborn. Their wisdom and guidance shows us the way to become the best we can be each day. Their selfless acts of unending love are blessings we're grateful for from above. From above. So here's to moms, the first women of history who shaped our lives with their love and glory. May we honor them today and forevermore and turn history to her story for God's glory and legacy for God's glory. We don't have to wait until Mother's Day to honor our moms. Let's not only honor them this month for Women's History Month, but let's honor them every day. All right, my friend, join us again next week as we continue the celebration of Women's History Month. We have some amazing guests coming up this month that will provide you with information that causes transformation in your situation. And if you're ready to soar, come hang out with us once more next week on Wednesday here in the Locker Room of Life. Until soon, my friend, stay amazing, and we celebrate you. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to Time to Win. I recognize that you appreciate the value provided in today's episode, and for your gratitude, I'm giving you a Time to Win VIP listener badge. So head on over to timetowinpodcast.com. That's timetowinpodcast.com and claim your badge and gain immediate VIP access to more of our next level resources and opportunities, including details on the huddle, a table for 10, the Cure Circle, and the Cure Retreat. Because you've enjoyed today's session, you can also express your gratitude by rating, reviewing, and returning next week with a friend. Oh, by the way, be sure to screenshot today's episode and share it in your Instagram and Facebook story or on your favorite social media platform. We'll look forward to seeing you again next week in the locker room of life, here on Time to Win. And remember, the best time to win is now.
Shine bright.